The Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE, conducts examination for thousands of students across the country every year. The board appoints different personnel to ensure the smooth and fair conduct of these examinations. In this video, we will take a look at some of the key aspects for planning for the examinations. The board has classified items that are permitted and that are barred for the candidates to be taken into the exam room. Candidates are allowed to bring only the following items to the exam center. These include admit card, school ID card, government ID card for private candidates. Stationery items like transparent pouch, geometry box, blue or black pens, pencil, eraser, writing pad, analog watch, transparent water bottles, hand sanitizer, bus card or railway cards. The following items are included in the barred list of items by the board: textual material, books, bits of paper, calculator, pen drive, any kind of communication device like Bluetooth earphones, mobile phones, cameras, microphone, etc. Wallets, goggles, handbags, pouches, eatables and packets of eatables. The board has also prescribed a dress code which includes school uniform for regular candidates and light colored dress for private candidates. In view of the pandemic, the WHO and the Government of India has prescribed guidelines that needs to be followed for the safe conduct of examinations. Officials will download and install the Arogya Setu app on their mobile phones. No one with COVID symptoms will be allowed inside the examination center. Functionaries will wash hands on reaching the examination center. Everyone will cover their nose and mouth with a mask, cloth or handkerchief. Physical distancing is to be maintained at all times. Physical contact with other personnel is to be avoided. All functionaries and candidates will follow all the guidelines provided by the Government of India to ensure a safe exam. The safety and security of the question papers are the collective responsibility of all personnel conducting the examination. Every center will receive sealed parcels of question papers depending on the number of candidates allocated to the center. The parcel should be opened in the control room in presence of witnesses. No camera, photocopier machine, fax machine, computer or any electronic equipment is to be used in the control room to duplicate any confidential material. The sealed parcels will contain sealed packets of question papers with every packet containing 18 question papers. In every center, there will be one packet with only 12 question papers which will be for the last room. The headings of each packet should be verified by the Center Superintendent and then given to the Assistant Superintendent. The sealed packets will be opened by the Assistant Superintendent in the exam room only with candidates as witnesses. The question papers will be opened 30 minutes before the commencement of the examination. The order of question papers should not be jumbled and the correct question paper should be handed to the candidate. Question papers will be handed to the candidate 15 minutes before the time mentioned in the admit card. Question papers of any other subjects, if any, are to be returned to the Center Superintendent. Question papers of absentees or any other excess question papers must be returned to the Center Superintendent after the commencement of the examination. The board has formulated several guidelines to ensure that unfair means are not practiced inside the examination center. The following can be classified as unfair means: a wrong statement given by the candidate in the application form, placing someone else to impersonate the examination, possession of barred items in the examination room, indulging in any kind of malpractice during the examination, writing on any other material other than the answer books, tampering with the question paper or the answer book, communicating with other candidate or any other personnel during the examination, smuggling of the answer books out of the examination center, threatening the officials who are conducting the examination, forceful entry or exit at the examination center. In case of an unfair practice, the answer book and unfair material will be confiscated from the candidate and a new answer book will be provided. The candidate will not be expelled from the examination. A statement with details of the candidate and unfair means will be prepared and sent to the regional office. If the answer book has been smuggled out of the examination center, all efforts will be made to retrieve it. An FIR will be filed and higher authorities will be notified. Once the examinations are over, all the answer books are to be brought to the Center Superintendent room. The answer books are to be counted and tied in multiples of 100 and kept together. Answer books of social science and science, of different languages of medium, of Hindi and English, are to be tied separately. These tied answer books must be packed in cloth parcels. Different color parcels should be used for secondary and senior secondary answer books. For class 10 or secondary, blue cloth parcel should be used with red ink. For class 12 or senior secondary, pink cloth parcels with blue ink should be used. Answer book of unfair means are to be packed in separate packets. All these parcels must be dispatched immediately after the termination of the examination. By going through the guidelines document thoroughly and following them, one can ensure a fair and safe examination. The Central Board of Secondary Education conducts examinations for thousands of students across the country every year. The board appoints various personnel for the fair and smooth conduct of these examinations. In this video, we will take a look at the roles and responsibilities of the Center Superintendent during the course of the examination. The Center Superintendent is given the task of supervising a smooth and fair examination. Under unavoidable circumstances, the Deputy Superintendent will take charge and act accordingly. The Center Superintendent has to ensure certain infrastructural facilities are available at the examination center. These include a well-protected room for storage of confidential material, a strong almirah with spare keys for storage of confidential material, adequate facsimile signature stamps to be affixed on each answer book, stationery items like sellotape, gum, thread, needles, bags, markers, etc. for use in the confidential room. Sufficient and comfortable seating arrangement for the candidates. Availability of sensitive female teacher or staff to assist girl students undergoing stress or mental trauma. Separate hygienic washrooms for boys and girls. Availability of security guards and CCTV cameras. Continuous electricity, fire safety equipment and potable drinking water. Ensure deputation of policemen in uniform to maintain law and order around the exam center. The seating arrangement in the center should be of triplicate form. No more than 18 candidates are to be allotted per room. There must be adequate spacing between the candidates to avoid any kind of communication between them. Roll numbers of candidates should be displayed on the desks. Candidates with benchmark disabilities are to be seated on the ground floor. The Center Superintendent alone will open the sealed question papers at the custodian bank and verify them. The verification will happen as below. Details given inside one of the canvas bags with the details given on the cloth parcels. Details given on the parcel with the subject-wise candidates allotted to the center. The date of exam on the data sheet should match the date of exam on the cloth parcel. In case of deficiency in quantity, the regional officer should be notified through telephone or special messenger. The Center Superintendent should alone collect the question papers from the custodian bank at least 45 minutes before the commencement of the examination. he or she should straight go to the exam center without making any stops between. He or she must be present at the exam center throughout the examination. No noise is to be allowed in the examination center that can distract the candidates. The sealed question papers will be opened not before 30 minutes of the exam in the presence of witnesses. Every answer book must have facsimile stamps affixed in the space provided. One main answer book and the correct question paper should be handed to the candidate 15 minutes before the time mentioned in the admit card. Excess question papers are to be packed and sealed after the commencement of the examinations. The Center Superintendent will instruct Assistant Superintendents to maintain discipline and fair practice of an examination. In case of an unfair practice, the answer book and unfair material will be confiscated from the candidate and a new answer book will be provided. The candidate will not be expelled from the examination. A statement with details of the candidate and unfair means will be prepared and sent to the regional office. If the answer book has been smuggled out of the examination center, all efforts will be made to retrieve it. An FIR will be filed and higher authorities will be notified. All answer books must be brought to the Center Superintendent after the examinations. In front of witnesses, these answer books will be verified, counted and sealed. The answer books will be dispatched without delay after verification. A detailed report will be prepared in case of an issue and will be signed by the Center Superintendent and the observer. The Center Superintendent should log in to the OECMS portal every day and upload the following details: examinees' attendance on daily basis, details of unfair means if any, details of diabetic candidates if any, details of candidates with benchmark disabilities with information of scribe extra time provided, feedback on question paper after consulting with the respective subject teacher, status of packing and delivery of answer books and its delivery information. Maintaining the sanctity of the examinations and the safety and security of question papers and answer books are the biggest responsibility of the Center Superintendent and his or her deputy. Since the process requires meticulous planning, the Center Superintendent should go through the guidelines document and hold a briefing session for the guidance of other personnel to ensure a peaceful and smooth examination. The Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE, conducts examination for thousands of students across the country every year. The board appoints different personnel to ensure the smooth and fair conduct of these examinations. In this video, we will take a look at the roles and responsibilities of an observer during the course of an examination. The board deputes public representatives as observers who act as witnesses to the fair process. They also aid in the functioning of these examinations. Observers should reach the custodian bank and the examination centers on time and should inform of their arrival to the Center Superintendent. Observers should accompany the Center Superintendent for the collection of the question papers. They should witness the opening of the sealed question papers and ensure that it is done not before 30 minutes of the examination. They must ensure that no electronic gadgets are used by any personnel in the room where confidential material is stored. They should also ensure that no photocopier machines, fax machines, computers, cameras, or any other electronic equipment are used to duplicate copies of confidential material. They will oversee the physical examination of candidates before entering the exam. It is to be noted that female candidates should be examined by female personnel only. They will also ensure that no candidates enters the exam with items on the barred list. During the course of examination, observers will take several rounds to ensure fair conduct of these examinations. and verify the number of candidates present in each room as per the attendance sheet, and also ensure that the seats allotted to the absentees are not given to any other candidate. They should also verify the genuineness of the candidate writing the examination by matching the photograph given on the admit card and the attendance sheet. In situation of unfair practice by a candidate, the observer will be part of a statement to report the practice to the higher authorities. The statement will include name of the candidate and the roll number, date of exams, subject of exams, time when the material was detected, nature of material or unfair means detected, how it was detected, signature of the person who detected the unfair means or material, counter signature of the Center Superintendent on each paper. Once the examination is over, the observer will see to it that the answer papers are brought to the room of the Center Superintendent. The observer will be witness to the proper counting, sealing and dispatching of these answer papers. The observer may also communicate a day-to-day report to the regional office. Observers are expected to read thoroughly the guidelines formulated by the board. By following proper guidelines, the observer, along with the other personnel, can ensure the functioning of a smooth and fair examination. The Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE, conducts examinations for thousands of students every year across the country. The board appoints various personnel in different roles to conduct a fair and smooth examination. The board appoints teachers from affiliated schools as Assistant Superintendents to assist the Center Superintendent in carrying out a fair examination. In this video, we will take a look at the roles and responsibilities of the Assistant Superintendent during the course of the examination. The Assistant Superintendents should report at the examination center at least 50 minutes before the commencement of the examination. They must be present at the examination center throughout the exam. They will witness the opening of the sealed parcels of the question papers. They will verify the headings on the sealed packets before taking it to the examination room. They will ensure that no unwanted personnel enter the examination room. They will ensure the genuineness of the candidate entering the examination room by matching the photographs on the admit card and the attendance sheet. They will do the physical examination of candidates to check for the possession of barred items by any candidate. It is to be noted that female candidates will be examined by female personnel only. They will open the sealed packet of question papers with candidates as witnesses. They will ensure that the question paper orders are not jumbled and the correct question papers are handed to the candidate. They will hand over the correct question paper 15 minutes before the time of the examination. They should note the list of absentees and mark the same with red ink on the attendance sheet. They will return the excess question papers to the Center Superintendent after the commencement of the examination. They will ensure that candidates and others are following COVID guidelines throughout the examination. They will ensure that candidates fill in correct details in the attendance sheet and the answer books. They will promptly provide for supplementary answer papers, water, etc. when asked for by the candidates. They will ensure the fair practice of examination by being vigilant. They will continuously walk around and be watchful of the candidates. In case of an unfair practice, the Assistant Superintendent will confiscate the answer book and the unfair material from the candidate. A new answer book should be given to the candidate and the records should be updated. The event will be reported to the Center Superintendent. The Assistant Superintendent will witness the recording of the candidate's explanation to the Center Superintendent. He or she will be part of the statement that will be prepared to report the unfair practice. The Assistant Superintendent will ensure that no candidate leaves the room before handing over the answer books. In case of missing answer books, the Assistant Superintendent will make a report and report it to the Center Superintendent. The collected answer books will then be delivered to the Center Superintendent. The Assistant Superintendent will witness the verification and sealing of the answer books. They will also sign the report that will be sent to the regional office. The Assistant Superintendents are expected to read the guideline documents thoroughly so that they can work along with the other personnel to ensure a peaceful and fair examination.